Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today because we're going on a really incredible journey through the history of digital camaraderie. We're counting down the top 10 greatest NPC companions in all of gaming. Okay, let's just dive right into this. We're going to trace the fascinating evolution of these in-game partners, starting all the way from simple mechanical followers who basically just existed to hold our extra gear, all the way up to these incredibly complex emotional anchors that fundamentally change how we experience a story.
So, what actually makes a digital companion feel, truly alive? Is it just how useful they are in a fight? Is it their clever dialogue? Or is it something a whole lot deeper? Well, we are going to bypass any long winded setup today and just plunge straight into a countdown that brilliantly illustrates the evolution of both gameplay and narrative design. We're going to see exactly how these characters transition from mere lines of code into completely unforgettable partners. Starting us off at number 10, we're kicking off with a character who really establishes the absolute baseline of steadfast mechanical companionship. This is a true RPG legend. Yes, it is Lydia from the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I am sworn to carry your burdens. I mean, she is the original stoic pack mule knight, right? As a House Carl of Whiterun, Lydia is, let's be honest, mechanically pretty simple. She is essentially a walking inventory extension and a shield bearer. But emotionally, she is monumental. In the frozen, dragon-infested chaos of Skyrim, her absolute loyalty is just this strangely comforting presence. She embodies companionship in its absolute purest form. It's like she's a sword that never asks why it's drawn, only where it must strike. All right, moving on to number 9. We are leaving the frozen tundras behind for a second to look at pure, unadulterated optimism engineered entirely into motion. It's Miles Tails Prower, and we are specifically highlighting his character arc in Sonic Adventure 2 here. This brilliantly illustrates how a character can radiate genuine presence rather than just existing in the background of the hero's shadow. I mean, Tails defies gravity with this helicopter-like grace, acting as both a mechanical genius and a vital emotional anchor. But what makes his inclusion on this list so crucial is his evolution. You watch him go from an anxious apprentice to a determined hero who is piloting these battlefield-shaking machines. He grows right alongside the protagonist, serving as a brilliant mirror of potential. Honestly, riding with Tails feels like riding a spark through a storm. He's fast, bright, and just full of invention. Down to number 8. For this one, we strip loyalty down to something entirely primal, all set against the incredibly bleak backdrop of a radioactive sprawl. Dogmeat from Fallout 4. So the crucial point to understand here is that Dogmeat is companionship stripped down to its absolute core. In the Commonwealth's decaying world full of factions and constant betrayal, Dogmeat is your emotional ballast. Think about it. He doesn't speak a single word, yet he communicates instinctual devotion perfectly. A quick bark at danger, a gentle nudge when you're knocked down, or just a sudden sprint toward trouble. He serves as both your shield and your compass. In a completely ruined world, he is the one absolute certainty. If you stand, Dogmeat stands with you. Coming in at number 7, it's time to swap out that primal loyalty for a spectacular, catastrophic mess. This is exactly what happens when insecurity literally gains control of the cockpit. We have to talk about Wheatley from Portal 2. He is chaos, completely wrapped up in synthetics charm. Now, he starts out as jittery comedic relief, right? Just this nervous little orb bouncing his way through aperture science. But watch how this brilliantly builds into absurd villainy. Because as he gains power, we see what happens when you have intelligence without wisdom and ambition without restraint. The crazy part is, his betrayal isn't even born out of malice. It's born from his own hard-coded limitations. He is spectacularly, catastrophically human in his flaws, leaving us with a companion whose humor slowly curdles into this deep, deep unease. Number 6. Let's trade that synthetic incompetence for a Durasteel companion who treats the fragility of organic life with a very dark, deeply philosophical enthusiasm. Oh yeah, HK-47 from Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. Calling humans meatbags isn't just a quirky habit for him, it's literally his complete worldview. He is what happens when an assassin droid is given a personality, a heavy dose of sarcasm, and a deeply enthusiastic interest in violence. But here's the thing. Despite his entirely lethal design, he delivers absurdly formal logic alongside these deep existential commentaries about obedience and what it means to exist. Every single interaction with him feels like a fascinating lecture, delivered by a malfunctioning scholar of violence. Okay, before we hit the heavy hitters in our top 5, let's trigger a rapid-fire bonus level to honor some almost legends. These are the iconic scene stealers who left massive emotional echoes in gaming. We've got Claptrap, the completely unstoppable chaos box from Borderlands 2, Midna, the Twilight Shadow guide who literally learns how to mourn in Twilight Princess, Ellie in The Last of Us, beautifully representing curiosity stitched right into survival instincts, Morgan from Dragon Age, the arcane wildcard who negotiates like a thunderstorm, Pikachu, the electric constant turning a whole journey into a shared experience in Pokemon Yellow, and of course Barbas from Skyrim, the talking cursed with a tail. They didn't quite crack the top 10 today, but man, they left permanent scorch marks across their digital worlds.
All right, number 5. We are entering the heavy narrative hitters now, starting with a godling who acts as the ultimate emotional bridge between brutality and empathy.
It's Atreus from God of War. His presence in the game really forces us to ask a profound question. Can violence raise something gentle? Atreus is so far beyond just being an archer who calls out enemy positions for you. He is a literal narrative force of growth. Walking beside Kratos, who, let's remember, is a god actively trying not to be a monster, Atreus' curiosity, his pride, and his extreme vulnerability make him feel deeply, deeply alive. He is literally the sound of a future trying to speak over the deafening echo of a violent past.
Down to number 4, this is a companion where a truly deep connection is rendered purely as signal and syntax.
We're looking at Cortana's tragic unraveling across the Halo series. She begins as a flawlessly composed advisor. The ultimate strategist guiding Master Chief through interstellar war. But after her exposure to ancient technology causes a massive existential overload, we watch her fracture into a fragmented, almost near-mythic digital entity. As this ghost in the machine, her sheer brilliance combined with her gradual unraveling gives her an emotional weight that, incredibly, makes her feel way more human than most of the organic characters in her entire universe. Number 3. The bronze medal for this countdown goes to a vigilante angel forged in a shared interstellar apocalypse. It is Garrus Vakarian from Mass Effect 2. Garrus is just the absolute perfect synthesis of camaraderie and competence. Over the course of the story, he transforms from this slightly naive, idealistic CSEC officer into a hardened, calibrating vigilante who is literally dismantling criminal empires from the rooftops. And he balances Commander Shepard perfectly. Between his dry humor, his newfound moral flexibility, and his unwavering loyalty, his arc beautifully mirrors the player's own moral navigation through the galaxy. He is a true friend, quite literally forged in the apocalypse. Coming in at number 2, our runner-up is an absolute revelation in companion design, a character who literally redefines the boundaries of reality. It's Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite. What makes her so wildly fascinating is her dual nature. On one hand, she is deeply, mechanically integrated into the gameplay. She's tossing you supplies when you desperately need them and weaving these tiers into alternate dimensions. But here's the brilliant part. These tiers aren't just game mechanics. They are narrative ruptures, redefining possibility in real time. But her absolute greatest strength is her emotional clarity. We watch her transform from a sheltered prisoner into this cosmic-level anomaly. She reacts, she remembers, and she genuinely grows. She is pure curiosity turned into action, and trust forged in collapsing universes. And here we are, number 1, the final boss of our countdown, the absolute undisputed peak of NPC design. Alex Vance from Half-Life 2. Alex completely redefines what a companion can actually be, a fully realized partner in survival who actively shares the heavy burden of resistance. Her AI behavior back then was completely revolutionary. She flanks enemies, she helps solve problems, and she comments on the world, all while remaining incredibly witty and emotionally grounded in this totally ruined, Combine-occupied world. Her presence just feels completely lived in. When you play alongside her, you realize it's the exact moment video games quietly stepped closer to companionship that actually breathes. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. How do these digital ghosts actually make us feel more human? From a stoic pack mule surviving the colds of Skyrim, all the way to a reality-bending partner in a collapsing universe, these code-based partners reflect our own potential, our flaws, and our deep, deep need for connection. They teach us that even in vast digital worlds, we never really want to walk alone. Thank you so much for joining me for this countdown. I really hope it leaves you absolutely eager to boot up a game and reunite with some of your old digital friends.